what is a research portfolio? I'm sure you're asking this. The first thing is, don't confuse it with your own professional careers portfolio. That's something that is about a collection of artifacts of your own skills that you use for job interviews, and that is something that's quite different to this type of portfolio, which is a collection of the notes and ideas and stages that go into a final research project. Now, we model this through the weekly workshop tasks, so don't worry, you're not going to have to make this all up yourself. There's a plan, a scaffolding of weekly stages that you can work through in order to create this portfolio. And in many ways, it's a bit like showing you're working in a maths problem, where it's not just a matter of saying, well, the answer's 600. What we're more interested in showing, well, how did you get there? What did you do along the way? So the workshop structure will actually give you the guidance of how to do it, and will give you 12 nice, regular, easy stages to work through the process. And I'm probably going to bet that you've never done that before, and many of us, left to our own devices, use a very ad hoc research approach, where we kind of do bit here, bit there, and we kind of backtrack, and then we think about something else, and we put it together. Without formal training and reflection on what we're doing, we do tend to evolve and adapt a very inefficient way of solving problems. So the purpose of this exercise is to provide you with an example of how to go about solving these problems, which you can then take on and modify and adjust for your own needs, and focus on what aspects you want to develop. So I don't suspect that until you hit, if you want to do honours, you'll be doing much of this again in the honours program, but most of the time you're not going to be doing 12 nice, equally spaced weekly stages along the process of completing an assignment. But I would like you to start thinking about being more regular and more organised in the way you answer assignments, and not just doing it in a mad panic at the last minute, which I'm sure you don't do, but too many other people do that, and it is easy to do that without being reflective and thinking about what you do. This becomes very important in professional life, particularly when you end up working in teams, which you always do. And a portfolio approach, or a well-organised research approach, is better when you have to share research with others and share procedures with others and collaborate. And remember, collaboration is not just a matter of working in a team who is around you. It's often sequential. Often you'll work on a part of a project and you'll hand it over to someone else, and they need to be able to understand your notes and what you've done, so they don't have to go straight back to first principles and start again. So these are good habits to get into in the research sense in any case. It's good in a professional environment, and it's good when you start dealing with a large project, such as postgraduate study, where you can't just leave it all to the last minute. You're effectively writing a whole book, and you can't just fly by the seat of your pants if you're going to do that. You've got to organise your research in a very structured way. So you remember in year one, it seems so long ago now, I'm sure, but in Introduction to Law, we asked you to create a legal problem-solving toolkit. And the point of that was to get you start thinking about your process and documenting what you do along the way. And it's a transition towards becoming a professional, where it's not about doing what you're told to do, but about doing what you know you need to do, and it's about coming up with your own approach to doing things. So I know a few people, when they did that exercise in year one, said, well, why can't you just tell us what to do? Just tell us what to do in this. And the thing about being a professional is no one is going to be telling you what to do. It's going to be up to you. So we're easing you along that path of transition. We're easing you along the path to thinking about, well, how do I plan what I do? How do I learn from? How do I document it? And then how do I reflect on that and learn from it, so that the next time I'm going to do better and I'm going to improve over time. So it's a starting point. It's not the guaranteed magic formula for research, but it's a starting point. And I encourage you to as you go, think about the ways and what aspects you're going to incorporate in your own practice, and how you're going to modify it, how you're going to hack the structure and create your own particular personal model of research out of the tools and the resources that we give you. And ultimately, this is all about getting on top of your workload and managing your own processes. So rather than being reactive to pressures and deadlines, thinking about how to get ahead and how to make time for planning and also making time to learn from experience. So hopefully that's clarified things. The portfolio is the showing you're working. It's the how we can have a look at understanding what you're doing, why you're doing it, and how you reached the final solution that you did.